Hello, everybody. You're listening to episode 2 of The Chill Zone. I'm your host, Gabe, and with me we have Wyatt.
Hello.
We have Scott.
Howdy.
And we have friend of the show, Vish.
Howdy.
So, how's everyone doing? Because we have had quite the eventful week recently.
Kent Johnson has made me depressed.
Good start. Good
So
start.
say we all. So say we all.
Not his fault. Let's be clear.
No.
Not his fault. But
No.
Yeah. No, the lack of Kent Johnson is what driving Wyatt to drink.
Yes. Yes.
Damn
Yeah.
those Blue Jackets. They drive me to drink.
Yeah.
I
They're,
have to take a quick refreshment break, also known as grabbing a fifth of vodka from the
Yeah,
fridge while we're talking about it later.
yeah.
Intermission.
just a few shots.
Yeah. If there
few
was
shots.
an intermission, I would definitely go grab a drink the minute we talk about Kent Johnson.
Please stand by.
Yeah.
So we've gotten started. Wyatt's life is off to a very depressing start. Scott, how's everything been, especially on Blue Jackets from?
You know, I could be better. Could be better, Gabe. You know, really, just not a. That Minnesota game was not great. That is not a great game to lead the week off on. But
No.
I still have some hope. I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on here.
I'm just glad it took 5 games for us to really look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I figured
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
be.
new record in
I
now.
figured it'd be like game 2, but
It was game 3 or 4 last year when we started looking terrible, and then
that
the
immediate
year
9-game
before
losing
that
streak.
it was game 2.
Yeah. The game where I think Danforth and Line both got injured on the same game, and it was just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
that
was
was
that?
just
first
game
game.
1.
That was
Yeah, that was game
yeah,
1.
Line
That was the
McDonald's
second
game
period.
1. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
Carolina.
Oh god, yeah.
I distinctly remember spending like 40 minutes in Photoshop making a really terrible tank meme after the first game of the season that year because Lina got hurt, and I was like, well, time for Lotto. And lo and behold.
Yeah.
We had all of like 15 minutes to be excited about Line and Fantilli playing together, and then never again. Never again.
Nope. And Rasmus
Never,
Anderson
ever.
decided that we can't have anything nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here are the Jackets.
Oh, wow.
Here are the
Yeah.
Jackets.
Yes. We are the Jackets. Oh god.
All right. So, Vish is a friend of the show. We've known him for a few years.
Yes.
He's a very cool guy. I think that's well established. But one thing that's interesting about Vish is that he actually worked with the Blue Jackets.
Sure did. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So I was a hockey ops intern with the team in. I think it was 21-22. All of these years, these like very mediocre years, have just kind of jumbled together in my head. But
Yeah, it was 2023, wasn't it? When the first Brad Larson year.
The first Brad Larson.
Yeah. Yes,
that
it
was
was.
20.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was a-
21-22.
That's 21-22. First Brad Larson
Yeah.
was 21-22. Yeah.
yeah, because we
No,
were.
no,
Yeah, it was,
21-22 was a lot. What
Nope.
was the last
no, it was
Larson?
it was 21-22 because it was the year we just finished. Like it was Brad Larson year 1. We just finished under 500 by like a game.
Oh, yeah.
They were like watchable, which was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it was the last time they were watchable until probably this year, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. It was still the Yarmo admin. I was doing hockey ops intern work, so I was reporting to the team scouting coordinator, and then generally just kind of working around with some of the other scouts with the team's new analytics guy. And also getting a lot of coffee for Yarmo. That was definitely a central part of my job function. Yeah, it was definitely a fun experience. I think it was kind of one of those things where I just like tossed an application when I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, I might as well see because I'm doing an analytics degree anyway. So if I get it, it'd be fun. And I did end up getting it. It was definitely a good experience to be with the team for a year. But I think it is funny looking back after 3-4 years now and seeing like, oh yeah, my opinions on Yarmo as GM and the team as a whole have definitely changed in the time since then, but it's still a good experience.
For better or for worse?
No comment.
Oh God.
I think in hindsight we can agree that Yarmo's tenure maybe not all it cracked out to be. I think people definitely idolized him for a long time.
I think the last
the
few
last
years,
decade.
yeah, the last few years definitely tanked it.
Oh yeah.
He fell up a cliff.
Oh,
and I think if we'd had more like actual success, maybe it would be a little bit different. You know, if we'd gone a little deeper in the playoffs, if we'd, you know, put together some, you know, more than just like a one-off team at the top of the league, it'd be a little bit different. But not a great 10, 11-year resume for Yarrow at the end of the day.
And I think that's what's a bit frustrating, right? Like, there's a lot of good things that he did do. Not to derail this whole conversation into going back over Yarmo things, as I'm sure most of the fan base has done for
No, this is the
months
point.
on end. But yeah, I mean, he did a lot of good, right? But I think it's just that, like, for being in role as long as he was, I feel like you would expect more, right? Like, I think it's a completely reasonable thing to expect more. And I think a lot of people. I mean, it felt like a lot of people, or a lot of the takes we saw after he was let go were just like, let's appreciate what he did do, which, yes, we can do, but I feel like we also need to take the B side of that, which is a lot of especially towards the end, there was a lot of questionable stuff.
Yeah,
He was definitely flailing. The last 2 years definitely felt like he was trying to keep his job.
Yeah.
He was desperate. He was desperate. He reached for anything and everything he could find. That last off season, definitely. I mean, you can say what you will about you know, signing Liney to the contract he did, and you know, Gaudreau may rest in peace, but that last off season, Babcock and Kovrov and Severson, just not for a team that really needed to be like deep in the rebuild. Just not it's like it felt like he lost sight of kind of where the team was.
Yeah, and
I think that's an interesting point, because, like, I mean, just to throw in my own experience, like, it did still feel like we had direction, a little more direction when I was there. I think, like, obviously, like, we kind of figured Brad wasn't going to be the long-term answer at head coach pretty early on. But, you know, that season, I mean, they were okay. They finished right around 500. They weren't particularly terrible. They were still watchable. And, of course, it was the standard, you know, injury deal and whatnot. But, you know, there was something there. But I think, yeah, I mean, the way it fell off a cliff within a season and a half was pretty remarkable.
yeah, that the difference between, like, the mid 2000s jackets and like the mid 2010s jackets, and then the past few years of the jackets, I would say, is those two, they were just bad. Like, there wasn't necessarily a huge amount of drama outside of Rick Nash and Jeff Carter. It's just they were bad.
Just bad.
Yeah, but the last 2 years has just been media headline for all of the wrong reasons, except for the Johnny Gaudreau signing. And even then, we got so much backlash from other fan bases that it kind of didn't feel like a win. So.
Yeah, I think even to that point, I mean, there were some rumblings. I want to say, like, the trade deadline before Johnny signed, there were some rumblings that Yarmo had been looking at Chikrin, trading for Chikrin, and there was some, like, draft war rumblings, and he resisted the urge. I really think signing Gaudreau, I think that, like, whether it was, like, ownership based or whether it was just all Yarmo, I think that was, like, the point where Yarmo was like, okay, maybe we can actually make a playoff team and I can save my job. It's like, well, needed maybe a little bit more reality there, but
A little bit more than one guy.
yep.
Let's talk about. It's very interesting that you bring up all this about Yarmo, because what was in retrospect, do you see any signs that Jarmo was getting slightly desperate in the first Brett Larson year?
I don't think so. And of course, like, speaking to what I can speak about, like,
Yes.
it still felt, as a whole, like, relatively coherent. Like, I think the messaging was still, like, I feel like at that point we hadn't gotten to the desperation point where we didn't really want to admit that we were looking at a rebuild. It was still, this year might not be great, let's play it out, and then kind of hopefully the next season from there we'll move up in the standings. But obviously it kind of went the opposite way. It was interesting because that season we finished around 500, but we still ended up getting what, like 6-12 in the draft the following season?
The
2022,
12 was
yeah.
the
Because
the
that
6
was
was from Chicago,
Chicago.
Yeah.
which became Jurček, which here's our esoteric jersey of the night.
Yes.
We've got hold on, let me spin this. We've got the Discoda Bulls in retro. Technically, it's an Adam Jurček jersey, but they both wore the same number, played for the same team, so it works.
It's
No one will know.
just a
No one
Jurček
will
jersey.
know.
It's just
Yeah,
Jurček
it's
jersey.
just the Jurček family jersey.
Well, good. Nobody will know, and you now have just told
And I have
everyone
now
that watches
told
this
everyone.
podcast.
Good
It's
job.
fine.
Good job.
It's fine.
The
The secret's
Exactly.
the secret's revealed. But I mean, just that season, like, I think there was still a level of optimism there that we could, like, avoid the rebuild, right? Like, finishing 500, get 2 high picks, and that was, yeah, we still had Bjorkstrand at that point. We had Line, who was point per game despite missing a third of the season. We were hoping, okay, maybe he doesn't miss the rest of the season. Werenski only played like 65 games that year, I think, and he didn't really, still a good year. He made it the All-Star game, but it wasn't his best season. There were a lot of injury issues that season as well, and of course that was Cole's rookie year. KJ played a few games at the end. He had his cup of tea.
We still had Voracek.
We still had Voracek, and he was, I think, our leading point scorer,
Yeah,
wasn't
he
he?
was
With that
a-
ridiculous
he was an
six goal,
assist machine.
6 goal, 56 assist stat line or something ridiculous like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
had
it
Voracek, we
was-
had Bjorkstrand, we still had Bean. Bean still looked like half decent, and
Jake
so did
Bean.
Boquist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boquist, I think, scored 11
Because
goals.
at that point they weren't completely wasted. They were still like potential players, and then just down the drain.
It just imploded. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm not too surprised. Surprised in the sense that I don't blame anyone in the org for being optimistic following that season, just given where the roster was at that time, where the draft was shaking out to be, the prospects we had coming up. I just think it's the season after that is where it really started going off the rails, which, there's injury reasons for that, of course, but yeah,
Oh yes, we would love to watch the NHL defense pairing of Marcus Bjork and Tim Burney.
Yes.
people
Eric
stopped for
Branson,
Marcus
number 1
Bjork.
D.
Yeah, people were into Marcus Bjork for a little bit. That was
Yeah,
the new
I
hotness.
was not. I was not.
I'll say guilty as charged for like 10 games, but then he absolutely fell off a
He
cliff.
was a fun meme. He was a fun meme for a little bit.
Yeah. I called him the hooking machine, I believe. Because that's all he did on defense was just hook.
He would have been a star
You know-
in the '90s.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's funny. Looking at the penalty minutes for that season, Marcus Bjork finished 5th on the team in penalty minutes with 33 games played. The 4 guys ahead of him were all at like 70 plus. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Lord.
That's astounding.
That's impressive. 42 penalty minutes in 33 games. Well done.
Yeah.
That's like enforcer level.
It is, yeah. But it's not for fighting because he was like not physical at all. It was just hooking. Hooking, tripping, whatever you want to call it.
Good lord. Yeah.
And then there's Matthew Olivier at 81, of course.
Well, yeah, but he was
Of
actually
course.
a forcer.
The goat.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Probably. Honestly, I saw people posting around the other day like Olivier is generally considered a fear fighter in the NHL today.
Yeah.
As,
One of the
like-
few.
Yeah.
He
It's
actually
just
does.
interesting because he's in a team that sucks.
Yeah. He is actually kind of a decent player. Like, he can play a shift. He has turned into a player that can play shifts.
I can tolerate him like as a fourth line, just a fourth line guy. Like he's been fine as a fourth line energy guy these last couple years.
He has some skill.
We just have too many of them.
Yeah.
we have like 5 Oliviers on the roster right now.
Yeah.
We have 3 fourth lines.
Yeah, but
and
only
then...
one of them can actually fight.
Yeah. Corrali can't.
You put the other one, the one's fighting. If you put Corrali fighting, he's gonna fall over backwards before the fight even starts.
Yeah. I don't want to see Putia fight.
No.
He's so, and it's funny, like
He turns into a Gmod ragdoll.
It's really funny because a lot of these prospects that we're talking about now is like getting into the league were guys that I did a lot of scouting, or just like helped out with a lot of scouting stuff on when I was there. So like I've got my scouting reports that I would post on the subreddit with just kind of like general progress updates on how their seasons were going. And this was like KJ, this was Putia, Svozil, all those guys were coming up because that was the year after they were all drafted, pretty much. And it was funny because the knock on Putia was always like, he's a stick. He's like 6'0", 150. And I don't think that's changed since like 3 years ago when I was working on those scouting reports.
Now.
He might be taller, but like he weighed like 150 4 years ago, and I think he still weighs around 150. I like his skill. Like I always liked him back when when we were working. When I was like watching him back then, I thought there was a player there. He was playing in Liga, and I mean, he was 18, 19 playing Liga top level in Finland, and he scored like. I think he scored like 20, 25 goals or something in one season.
It was a good amount.
HockeyDB says he weighs.
All right.
HockeyDB says he weighs 175 pounds.
Yeah, he's 6 foot, 176, so he's still not very heavy, but
he's still not very heavy.
Yeah.
That's improved. Elite Prospects is either out of date or just wrong. It says he's 154.
Yeah, EP's definitely out of date.
yeah.
Yeah, that's low. That sounds more like what he was a while ago, but still, 174 is light.
Yeah, that's only a few pounds lighter than KJ though.
He's pretty obviously not like a physical guy.
No.
He's been better than I expected though. I was a little shocked to see him make the roster out of preseason, and then he's not been like great. I mean, obviously like nothing. He hasn't put a single point despite playing with Ken Johnson and Chris Sillinger, but he's been serviceable, I guess is the word for it.
Yeah, he is good from what I've seen. He's good at getting into the boards, winning his battles, and he's actually pretty good at passing. Goal scoring,
I like him.
I don't know.
At
least
like
at the
that
moment.
you decided to give him
he was a good goal
compliment
scorer.
that you give to your dishwasher. He's serviceable.
He's serviceable.
Yes.
He was a good goal scorer in Finland, but I think there's definitely like a time and space aspect. Of course, there always is coming from Europe, especially Finland. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that'll ever translate. Really, I think we would jury's out on that. But yeah, I mean,
if it translated, then Bemmer would be a
watching.
fucking 50 goal scorer.
It's fine, guys. We'll have like the 3 games per season where he randomly scores like 8 goals and then just goes to sleep for the next 75.
Yeah, and then
How many
makes
hat
us
tricks
pull
did
his
he
hair
have?
out.
He had like 3.
2 or 3. I think it might have been 2.
I will never forget the one against Nashville. It's just like natural hat trick in the third period.
That was the weirdest thing ever.
So
and then we lost in overtime, didn't we?
Probably.
Sounds right. Sounds
Yep.
like us.
Yeah. Yeah. The goal I'll never forget is him blowing our tank chances
It's fucking Pittsburgh.
against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It's just like, you have not scored all fucking year, and you wait till game 81 to score when we don't need you to.
Truly.
Classic.
I think
I respect it.
Yeah.
Dedication to the troll job.
Yeah, I think that goal is when everyone finally turned off the Bemmer train.
Oh, easily. Yeah, that was definitely the point. And then I think the preseason after everybody was like, yeah, okay, you're gonna put up your 30 goals in the
6
preseason.
goals,
Yeah, 6 goals in 2 games or something like that. And then we're gonna get to the season, and you're just not gonna exist. And true to form.
He didn't
He's one of those
disappoint.
every year.
He absolutely did. And then he got shipped out.
Yeah.
For Alex
we can-
Nylander, yeah.
Who's basically the
Yay!
same.
Jackets legend.
Jackets.
Yeah.
No, man, we should have
Yeah.
signed him. He scored 15 goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have signed him. I can't believe we didn't.
Sustainable.
Absolutely
Very
sustainable.
sustainable. Someone remind me where he's playing this year. Is he even on a roster?
He's
Oh,
in-
that's right,
he's
'cause he went
in,
to
uh,
He is in
Toronto,
the
right?
Marlies.
Yeah. He's with the Marlies and
Fair
Bemstrom's
enough,
in
he's with-
Wilkes-Barre.
Oh, that's right, because he signed with Toronto, so he could it's like room with his brother, I think.
Yeah.
Which fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
I mean, if you're gonna be there, be like, hey, I can be an AHL player, and you know, I am literally the brother of one of your best players.
Yeah.
I can be here. I can be his emotional support. I can be his emotional support homie.
Here's a fun tidbit. His full name: Alexander Maximilian Michael Jr. Nylander Altelius.
Good lord.
Today I learned.
That's
Also, the junior is like
Okay.
the junior is in the middle of the name and not at the end.
June.
We'll gloss over that one. Today I learned.
Well, I think we've beat Alex Nylander and Emil Bemstrom to death enough.
Quick, grab the hockey stick.
If they're ever listening, I apologize. Nothing personal.
If they are
gonna
listening, I
find
don't
you.
apologize. This is incredibly personal to me.
Yeah.
Still play hockey better than I can, so you know what?
Well, yeah.
Good job,
definitely.
guys. Good job. You made more money than I've made in my entire life, so.
Bravo.
Great.
That I will make in my entire life.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So
Next up, let's. So Wyatt, you were on the opening night, the home opener, and Memoriam Johnny Gaudreau.
I was indeed.
Yeah. Let's talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's have a short rundown over the game.
Okay.
First, we had an incredible goal by the pair of Johnson and Sillinger in the penalty kill.
Yes.
So, talk about that.
So where I was at, I was actually next to the cannon, where I was seated, and that was totally by accident. I did not realize that was the cannon section. So that was fun, but I got a very good view of it because they were on the second period, so they were on my side, killing the penalty, and I saw that Kent Johnson, who was just being an absolute puck thief, grabbed the puck and stole it away from, I can't remember who it was, but I saw that Cole Sillinger was just darting to try and get a breakaway, and I was just like, okay, come on, Kent Johnson, pass it. And then all of a sudden, he just got on the backhand and saucered it about 100 feet in the air perfectly onto Cole Sillinger's stick. Totally was offside, but it didn't get reviewed, so... and then Sillinger just did the rest. He just sniped it top corner, and it was like, holy crap. I have not seen this with our penalty kill for 3-4 years at least. Like, we had no skill ever on our penalty kill. So, yeah, that was an absolute great way to start the game, even if it was over a period before anything actually happened. So, yeah.
That was all KJ. That was just a tidbit of what he can do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen that kind of thing in flashes, but and of course we'll wax poetic about his impact being gone later, but
Yes.
I mean, just getting that glimpse of what he can do in these first few games, especially in that game. I thought he was great in the opener. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he played really. Like, we ended up that line. That
Yeah.
line was incredible.
It was like the best -3 I've ever seen in the plus minus. Because I looked at that after the game, I'm like, how is him and Sillinger -3? They played great. What do you mean?
They also I matched up against I want to say Florida's top line, so like there definitely
Yeah.
were some like there
Was
were some
wasn't
defensive
it-
breakdowns,
Yeah.
which it's
Yeah.
just gonna happen against Florida. Like it's like playing Tampa back in their heyday.
They're very good at transition and forecheck, so.
Yeah, they're gonna get their chances. It's all just about limiting how many of those they get. Unfortunately, like they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw that, and I can piggyback off of that. The second goal, bringing up the forecheck.
Exactly.
That was, that was all Florida's forecheck, right? Like, Reinhardt, or was it Reinhardt? One of them forces the turnover.
Reinhardt. So they forced a turnover. The puck just started. It just went into the air. Reinhardt batted it out of the air twice, and then just batted it behind him, and Lundell was right there, and Elvis. It didn't look great. It just went straight through his 5-hole and in. And I'm just like, oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Massive credit to Reinhardt. That was an incredible play. Like, just a hand-eye to settle that down, all in one bounce, just kind of knock it over to Lundell for the shot. But Elvis has to have that one. I feel like
he does.
That was a tough one.
But then we actually took the lead again with one of the most magical goals of the season.
Oh yeah, easily.
The Monahan goal.
Yes. It was pretty much Chinakhov basically just driving into the zone, going through the D, and he kind of lost it, but Monahan, I believe, was right there. He shot it, got saved, but there was a rebound. He hit it, went through the goalie and in, and one of the most memorable photos in Blue Jackets history happened right then and there, because if you're not aware, Sean Monahan was Johnny Gaudreau's best friend, easily, at least in the NHL. They were very, very tight, and that was a big reason why Sean Monahan decided to come to Columbus, at least one of the big reasons. So to score the goal for him was amazing, and he pointed straight at the semi-retired jersey for Johnny Gaudreau. He pointed right at it, and we'll get into that later, like Gabe said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was incredible to see, and just poetic.
I think wherever this season ends up going, that image is just going to be an enduring memory of this year. It was. I know. Everyone was hoping he would score, but yeah, having it in second period of the first game back at home, just right after after the ceremony, everything. Couldn't script it better. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, easily.
The Panthers would take the lead. They scored 3 goals, and we had no response until very late when James Van Riemsdyk ended up scoring. His first goal.
That was, I believe, when we just pulled the goalie not too long before that. The only thing we did kind of gloss over, though, that happened, I believe, what's that? Yeah, all the scoring happened, unless you want me to talk about it after all.
No, go ahead.
All that. Okay, I believe it was still in the second period. It was after the Monahan goal.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Classic CBJ response goal allowed fashion.
Oh yeah, that Kulikov goal was awful.
It was tough.
Yeah,
it was such a fluky goal though. Like that.
It was such a fluky goal, but
it just floats. Like I was watching the replay right before the cast, and like it just kind of like floated. It was like somehow floated straight up.
It definitely floated, but part of Elvis's big problem is he just won't make the saves you need him to, and that was one of those where one of his problems is he can't see the puck very well, especially when there's traffic, and there is a bunch of traffic, and he lost sight of the puck, and where the puck ended up going in, he was at the complete opposite end of the net. And
he was sliding out of the left side of the net. The puck was dead center.
Yeah,
dead center.
And it was just like, where are you going? He's not a small goalie. He's 6'1", 6'2". So I don't get it. But that tied the game, and then it was like 2 seconds left. Kind of a bad turnover, and Verhaeghe just shoved it straight in front of the net, and Reinhardt buried it, and it was all of a sudden 3-2 Florida, and we were just like, oh no.
That was going in. They played a great second period. Even both of, one of the forward goals was very forecheck driven. The other one was just random flutter. But like overall, besides the 2 goals, I thought they played a great second period. They played a great first and second. But
yeah,
I mean to go into the intermission, being down a goal after all of that was
and
tough.
the one big thing that I haven't mentioned is what happened to Gabranson, which I got to see a very good angle of
that's
it.
unpleasant.
Yeah, it was him and Monahan just ran into each other. I was actually scared because I saw it coming like a second before it happened. I'm like, oh no, because in the back of my head, I'm like, Monahan has a ton of injury issues, so running into Gabranson, it's like the last person you want to run into. But it was actually Gabranson. I watched his arm just smack the ice, and I'm wondering what with what happened was, if you've ever played hockey, you know your elbow pads, they tend to go up when you hit something. I'm wondering if it went up while he was going down, and his elbow and his entire arm just smashed into the ice at full force, and he's a big dude, and that's a lot of weight, so he got up immediately, crutching his arm, and went, yep, he's done. He's done for the game, at least. So that was
concerning.
concerning.
For a good portion of the season.
It's going to be long term. So actually, his wife just posted a photo to her Instagram. He's at a surgery center in Colorado, and I think it might be the same one that Boom was at. So it's probably going to be most of the season, at least until like next calendar year, if not further.
Yeah. So despite them playing well in the second period, like it was just all deflating things, other than the Monahan goal, I would say. But yeah, and then into the third period, nothing. Blue Jackets were getting a ton of shots. Just Spencer Knight was playing like his potential, because his potential is very, very high. And then Van Riemsdyk goal was just we almost tied the game, actually. So Van Riemsdyk got a junk goal. Van Riemsdyk, that's what he does. That is what he is designed to do, is to park himself in front of the net and deflect goals, and that's exactly what he did. So that made it 3-4 or 4-3, and then Chinakhov almost tied it, but Spencer Knight made an incredible save. Yeah, he did. He managed to deflect it out.
Off his glove and off the bar.
Yeah.
I thought Chinny just whipped that at first when watching it live,
got
but
it
the
all.
replay was
he
got it all. It was perfectly labeled, but Knight just made a great save. I thought those last 4 minutes ish were the best we've looked in probably 3 years. 6-on-5.
Yeah, easily. Easily.
I mean, it was incredible.
Dangerous, especially against Florida. Even if they are missing some of their top players, it's not an easy team at all. So yeah, we ended up losing, but that's the best I've felt about a loss in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would have been great to have a win, especially given the sentimental circumstances. But I mean, all things considered, aside from a few, I mean, we can wax poetic about the goals, but the goals against. But I mean, I thought they played great almost the entire game, outside of like a 3 to 4 minute stretch of the third where they looked a little bit tired. But then as soon as the goalie got pulled, they were back at
they
full
turned
energy
it on
again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's games like that where you can say goalie diff, and it's pretty much the story of the game, right? Like Knight was, Knight was unreal. Elvis might have let in a couple that he wants back. And
I would say at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2.
I mean, we just like counting stats wise, like looking at the advanced stats, we dominated them the last 2 periods of play. Right? Like, no other word for it. High danger chances were 8-3 over the final 40 minutes of the game. Like just
dang.
It sometimes you have the goalie is the only player on the ice that can single-handedly make the difference between a win and a loss. And it happens. Knight was fantastic. Full hats off to him. And Elvis was Elvis. He struggles in emotional games too. So this is what it is. Good game though. Really fun game.
It was a good fun game. Do you want me to talk about the ceremony then?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was going to say, we mentioned this game, whether we won or lost, was going to be defined by the ceremony and celebration of the life of Johnny Gaudreau.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always going to be incredibly important, no matter the result. We could have lost like 6-0 to Florida.
Oh yeah, it would.
And none of that would have mattered.
No. So they did the warm-ups around. So it started. Supposed to start at 7. So yeah, around 6:35 or so, the players went out to warm up, and then around 6:45, they started playing the videos of Johnny Hockey's and his brother Matthew, just their family album, basically, how they grew up, pictures of them playing as a kid, them growing up in AAA. I wish Eric Robinson was actually here. The one time I wish Eric Robinson was with the Blue Jackets still was
he
just
still
for this
catches
game.
strays. Hasn't been on the team in a year and a half.
E-Rob got hands, what can I say?
Stone hands, baby.
Those brick hands. But yeah, the tribute video was very nice. Then they brought his family out. I saw a bunch of people whipping their phones out and all of that for it. And I'm just like, no, that's wrong to me personally. Like, you're honoring somebody's death. You do not need to record this at all. So I didn't record any of seeing Meredith Gaudreau, their children, their father and mother, and then sister. Or do you have one or two sisters? Or is it three? I can't remember. It doesn't really matter.
Two sisters.
But two.
Sisters.
Okay. Yeah, I just felt like that was wrong. Watched the banner go up. I thought the banner looks fantastic. I wish it was under better circumstances, but unfortunately it isn't. But one thing that was very touching was you got to see Sean Monahan be with Gaudreau's, widow, wife, whatever you want to call her at the moment. And he was crying with her, and I think their brother-in-law was also there, and it was.
He was holding one of Gaudreau's kids as well.
Yeah.
It was just very emotional.
It was very emotional,
and especially, I mean, I'm sure being in the arena was just an added layer to that. But I think what really stuck out to me watching that ceremony just at home, there was one clip where while the banner was going up, the camera cut to Meredith holding, I think it was Noah, his youngest daughter, and she was like pointing up at the banner as it was going up. It was just, I mean, hard to put it into words. Just like seeing that. And
I remember seeing that too, and he was just like pointing up like that. But so the banner was raised, and then after that, this is the one thing I did record, and I might put it in the video, we'll discuss it, is the crowd started chanting Johnny Hockey, and it got seriously loud. Like, that's all you could hear, was just the entire crowd cheering Johnny Hockey. And it was just amazing. It was just a surreal experience. And then the last thing was the puck drop. So there wasn't a ceremonial puck drop or anything. I thought there might have been, but there wasn't. They just dropped the puck, and then I realized there's only 4 Blue Jackets on the ice. And I noticed the lines were out of whack too, because it was Werenski, Gabranson, Sillinger, and Monahan. Yeah, and dropped the puck, and they rolled the time, and then I realized what they were doing. They were rolling 13 seconds off the clock to honor Johnny Gaudreau, and I'm like, okay, that's amazing. That is a storybook ending to this whole entire thing, to honor him, to address and honor him. I'm kind of at a loss for words, but yeah, it was like the last hurrah of celebrating Johnny Hockey on the ice before we got underway. So, yeah.
And
It's great
I
that you
mean,
heard
shout
that.
out to the Panthers as well for, you
Yeah.
know, going with the whole thing. I know, like, Monahan won that face-off, and then Bennett tapped it over to that empty spot in the ice. And then, I mean, just great all around. I mean, that whole, I was kind of, well, not concerned's not the right word, just curious as to, like, what they would do with this whole ceremony. I think they knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
I think
they
it was
definitely did.
incredibly done, start to finish. Could not ask for better.
The only thing that could probably come close to this is when Columbus visits Calgary. I'll be wondering what they do.
Dude, I am not ready for Columbus going to Calgary. That's
Yeah,
going to be a special episode. That's a special episode all of its own.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. But
Because don't we play both the home and away of that in like a couple weeks, pretty much?
Yeah.
Personal opinion,
Something
we
like
should
that.
get 2 official jersey retirements at those 2 games. One in Calgary, one here. That's my opinion.
I think
Yeah, that's the
simultaneously
only-
We've already raised
I
the
don't think
banner, a banner in our stadium, but I think
I don't
official
think
retirement
simultaneous.
ceremonies.
I think it's going to be a matter of like we're retiring first here, and then when we go to the other one, we're going to retire there because we want to retire in the stadiums.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. But that.
That's the only request I have because I still wish Kivi's jersey was retired.
Yeah, but I can understand why it's not permanently.
It should be permanent.
It should be, but I
mean,
can understand why it's not.
And that happened the off season before I was there. They put a banner up for Kivi for the whole season, but of course, it was only like a during the season thing. I think it should have been permanent. It should have stayed up there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that number's not being given out anyway. Like that's no secret. But we might as well.
Shadow
I think it's. I think it's worth immortalizing. It should be immortalized.
Yeah.
And if you guys saw Calgary's pregame ceremony, like of course they weren't playing us, but they did their own pregame ceremony at their home opener, and I thought it was also
it was
really well done.
There.
They had this like sort of like a light show thing where they played some of his most iconic goals as a Calgary Flame, and they had like spots of light shown on the ice from where that goal was scored, and I thought that was a really cool.
It was in fact 13 goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really cool.
Okay,
It was a really cool thing.
That does make me remember one thing when they were playing the video montage. They were playing some of his most spectacular goals, and they played the one that he scored in Game 7 against Dallas, and everyone started cheering in the stadium. That in Columbus, I should say. Yeah, it was incredible. The ticket was well worth just for that, let alone the rest of the game. Because I think I'm safe in saying for right now, you're never going to experience that again.
I never want to
I hope
get
not.
as good as it was.
I hope not, but I think it's, for now, it's the only time we're going to experience something quite like that.
We are playing Calgary on November the 29th.
Okay.
And then the next time we play Calgary is...
I don't think it's that long after, right? It's pretty quick.
I thought.
No,
yeah.
hold on, let me check. It is, in fact, December 3rd. And then we're playing
So,
Calgary.
yeah, it's pretty...
4 days. Yep.
Okay. Where does it go?
There's
Home or away?
It goes home then away.
Okay. Okay. That will be
So,
something.
because we were going, then after we're going to Calgary, we're going to hit up the rest of the...
West Coast, or Canadian.
The rest of the West...
the Western Canadian
West,
trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
The West Canada trip, because we're hitting up Chicago, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg.
No Seattle.
So we're doing
That's
that
surprising.
sort of like
No Seattle, oddly enough.
Yeah.
We
We're
don't
not-
actually.
we're not
We
doing
play Seattle. We play Seattle as part of our West Coast trip in a couple weeks. We've got.
Okay.
Oh well, we start in Washington for whatever reason, and then go at San Jose, at LA, at Anaheim, at Seattle.
That's such a weird schedule. Yeah.
And then we go back home to play
I can
Pittsburgh.
complain. Yeah, I mean,
And then the
like
night
November,
after,
December,
the night after
our
we
fir-
fly to Montreal.
November, December, we have.
Pittsburgh,
That's
the
so
boogeyman.
weird. We've got 5 away games West Coast, come back home for Pittsburgh, and then 2 more road games after that. It's a weird schedule
okay,
because we've got like 7 of 8 on the road, and then like a 4-game homestand, and another 5 games out west again. So we're pretty much 2 West Coast road trips, like sandwiching.
I'm sure at that point we'll be the Columbus Monsters again.
Already are.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here. Never left.
Even more
Never
so.
left.
So yeah, that's all I want to say about the ceremony with the game I went to.
Yeah.
Were you able to check out the like little display they had up? Because I know they put a lot
I
of
did
the...
not see it actually, which is ironic because I was right next to it. I just it sometimes I just am completely oblivious to things. So
Understandable.
Actually, I can grab what I got from the game though, because I did get something
right, so
that they gave out something. So I'll be right back. If you guys want to talk about something else, I don't care. So I'll be right back.
It was a nice memorial.
Yeah.
I got to see they had it set up for the Buffalo game I went to. So it's
Yes,
very nice.
you went to the Buffalo game.
I did go to the Buffalo game. I figure we'll wait to talk about it till Wyatt's back. But,
Yeah.
they had it. It's very tasteful. Very what is it, like a chalk drawing or something like that? I'm underselling it. It's really a very nice mural towards him, and they had the sticks set up and a lot of the stuff set up that was out there for the memorial that was set out for Johnny. So I feel like that's going to be there all season. I don't think they plan on taking that down.
Yeah, I think that's just well, maybe not permanent replacement, but I think it's definitely going to be there for the whole year, I think.
Alright, so just before we move on, that's what I got at the front of the building. It was the Johnny Gaudreau patch number 13. What I can put it on, I have no clue because I don't have a jersey for it, but I thought that's really cool. So
In loving memory.
in loving memory. Alright.
But Scott, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
The Buffalo game.
A little bit happier, a little bit more, a little less somber, I guess.
Well,
Not for
okay.
me.
Okay, for different reasons though.
Yeah, exactly.
Should I go grab a drink now?
Ooh.
Yeah, hold on.
Maybe.
I'll be
Hold
right
on,
back.
this is the second time in as many games that a Blue Jacket has gotten catastrophically injured. Please, everyone, keep your bottles of whiskey off your table.
Let's not aim for liver failure quite yet. We are episode 2 of the podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure, we'll have
I'll
better
wait till double
chances.
digits.
No, but it was the I guess not the proper opener, but they did all the festivities and they had the stuff out there. I didn't actually go to the festivities, but I have been told that it was a very nice, fun time. My dad and his wife went to it, so they had this little like circle thing where the players would step out. They got to take pictures with them. So it was a very fun, festive night, and I feel like the scoring kind of echoed that a little bit. We started off with the Chinnikov goal, right? So on the power play, which was it was kind of our glimpse of sweetness before it was taken crudely away from us. Chinnikov from Rensky and Johnson on just really just a nice, like, clean passing play, great shot by Chinnikov, like in a power play that we haven't
Functions.
seen. Yeah, it's I don't know when's the last time we saw a power play actually like just make the easy scoring play.
2019 playoffs.
Yeah, honestly. I think they've been like bottom 5 consistently since then.
Yeah, I think we were bottom 5 that year, and it's just it awoke for that.
Randomly in the playoffs, it just
Yeah.
Thanks, Tampa.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And honestly, that was like I don't know how it looked. I don't know how it looked at home, but at the game, they looked dominant that first period. I mean, like Buffalo.
Oh yeah.
Was not like I want to say it was like 10 minutes into the game, and Buffalo had not gotten an attempt, not just a shot, but had not had an attempt at the net. And then we had a Marchenko goal that was unassisted, and that I think that highlighted how Marchenko's wrong. Like, we haven't really talked about him a whole lot, I feel like, this year, because Chinnikov's gotten a lot of the praise for that top line, and then Ken Johnson's been doing his thing, had been. And but that was Marchenko just kind of pressured the puck, stole it, and then skated in the zone and ripped it. And that was that back check, that back pressure has been slowly becoming part of Marchenko's game this season.
Yeah, him and Chinnikov have been very lethal doing that. They're just using their size and their speed, and then underrated stick ability with thieving. So.
Yep.
And I remember something I always liked, like, and this goes back to like the first year when he first came up. I felt like Chinnikov is very underrated as, I mean, just as a back checker, like with his stick, board play, like. It's not something that's like I would consider. I mean, I wouldn't have considered that like a key part of his game before actually kind of watching him play. But I think it's something that's a bit understated about him. And I think it's part of what makes him really effective on this line in that kind of a role. I mean, it definitely helps generate a lot more, in conjunction with Marchenko and Monahan.
Yeah.
That line's been insane. I mean, what is it, like 83% expected goal percentage or something like that through the first 4 or 5 games?
Yeah. They've been just crazy. The Monahan, he's definitely had chemistry with Chinnikov. I don't know if I'd say it's as much with Marchenko, but at the same time, Marchenko's just he's been. I was a little worried. He started slow in the preseason, but he's just turned it up a notch.
He turned it on, yeah.
And all 3 of them have been dangerous. All 3 of them have been like really strong in the back check, and at least through this game, we can talk about the Minnesota game later, where kind of the whole team fell apart.
Yeah, the whole team cratered.
Oh,
yeah. Second
Good
period.
Lord.
Second period was a different story in Buffalo, and I will be honest. I did miss the Ken Johnson injury. I didn't actually see it happen. I
wish I did.
It was date night as well, so I did have other things to pay attention to, not just the hockey.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Allowed.
But
what a shame.
I know.
You should devote yourself entirely to hockey.
Yeah.
Watching big sweaty men play with their sticks.
What?
And we're off the air.
Hey. Canceled on the second episode. Love it.
Hey, we made it to 1. That's all that matters.
That is. I don't know if do either of you. I don't have it written down. Do you know when the Ken Johnson injury happened? Because I feel like it happened.
It was after. It was fairly early in the period, like first couple minutes. JVR got tripped by. Who was it?
Alex Tuck.
Alex Tuck, yes. And JVR fell, and Ken Johnson, I guess he just didn't see JVR coming that fast, and his skate kind of got caught on JVR, which flipped him upside down, and he just smashed his elbow very close to the same place Eric Branson did a couple nights before, and just like Gabranson, he was immediately in pain. He could not get up right away, and when he did get up, he was clutching his arm, and my heart just cratered into my stomach.
Straight down the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was driving home from like a work event during the second period, and I got a message, someone saying, "What happened to KJ?" And I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
It just like immediately heart sank. I think I figured like, oh, I'm sure it was probably something stupid. Lo and behold, it was.
It was something very stupid.
Very dumb.
Blue Jackets are
And-
not allowed to have nice things.
Yeah. But kind of with the rest of this game though, and then definitely in the Minnesota game, you could start seeing the difference.
I absolutely, and I think that's kind of what I was going to lead into with the second period, is that you had that injury, and I feel like the game shifted significantly. Buffalo had fought back a little bit in the first, but I felt like in the second and third, it became much more of a back and forth kind of affair, and not quite the dominating performance we saw in the first period. We had a goal from McLeod, the new saver, and then Fantilli got a goal with an iconic celebration. Nice little shot of him doing the arm pump. And then a goal from Kulik. The Kulik fans out there.
First career?
Yeah, first career goal. First career NHL goal.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the point that, at least in the building, I could feel the shift in play start to come, because that definitely, like, it felt less like a fluky thing and more like Buffalo's actually punching back now. The Blue Jackets are having some defensive breakdowns, and we're struggling a little bit. And then Olivier. How about that Olivier goal, huh?
That was nice. It was a great pass
score.
by Sillinger.
Yeah, solid.
It was.
Great pass by Sillinger, and then Olivier with just like a silky smooth little backhand move in front of the net to reach the puck. Feel a little bad for Levi on that one.
I don't.
You know.
To be fair, Levi,
No hesitation.
Levi was not the problem this game
I
for
think-
Buffalo.
Yeah,
He
absolutely
It
wasn't.
was not. Buffalo's defense was
Terrible.
Garbage.
not good.
Ugh, not good.
They did score, though. Owen Power got a goal after that to bring it to 4-3. And then we had kind of this goal was kind of fluky. The Aston Reese, it was a tip on a Jake Christensen shot. That was, I think by that point we had Fantilli with Aston Reese and Olivier. Just an odd line of Fantilli with a couple just fourth liners.
Yeah, that sounds unpleasant.
Yeah,
That's the, for lack of a better term, the best way that I can compare to that is to the old hockey tweet of the Penguins always have like random dudes I no one knows about. It's Jenny Malky against the show when Mark Duncan Buzz
Flibbit.
Yeah.
and then you look at
iconic-
them and they both have like 60 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
Pittsburgh
that was the Fantilli line there. It was like, oh yeah, Fantilli gains his own with Matthew Olivier and Zach Aston-Reese. You go, what the fuck is this line?
Yeah. Pittsburgh legend Colby Armstrong.
Oh, I miss him.
Honestly, though, I mean,
I love a guy who's named after two cheeses.
And
I
then
haven't hated Aston Reese so far.
No,
I
I haven't
mean,
either.
he doesn't.
no, he's
He
been
doesn't
good.
do. I mean, he doesn't do much, but like that's fine. Like that's also, doesn't
he
do
doesn't
much.
have to.
Complimentary. Yeah, exactly.
He's the
It's a
saltine cracker.
the saltine
CTJ.
cracker.
He's Olivier that doesn't fight. Like that's pretty much what he is, and it worked in this
Yeah.
occasion. Like Fantilli,
Yep.
Olivier, and Aston Reese. It was just a solid forecheck. Got back to a point shot. Like the typical, very typical like Torts style goal almost of just like heavy forecheck, puck back to the point, tip it, get it in the goal.
Basically, yeah.
It was really, it worked. I'm glad that at least, we'll get into it later, but it seems like we're not going to get that for the next games. But, and then just a nice goal between by Severson on a great feed by another one of those, if I'm not mistaken, another one of those plays where Marchenko just like ended up.
Yeah,
with
it
the
was
puck.
Chinnikov and it was
Marchenko and Monahan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marchenko. I mean, Marchenko deserves a lot of credit for this goal. He I think it was he dispossessed Dahlin in the D zone. Just pretty much just came up behind him, stole the puck. I think Monahan got a touch on it, back to Marchenko, and then Marchenko. I mean, the
Yeah.
Buffalo defense just forgot about Severson, straight down the slot.
Gorgeous pass too.
Oh,
Like, put it right where
Really-
Severson wanted it.
really well
And
done.
Severson, credit to him, did not make a mistake and put that puck in the goal.
No. And he's been good.
He's been good.
yeah.
I posted the Severson apology for him in the server. Like I've been a Sevo apologist since we signed him. I think people are too hard on him.
I
Look,
I
it
like-
was that smirk. They couldn't believe a man with such a powerful smirk.
He's been good. He's been good this season so far.
Him and Christensen have been a really effective pair. I didn't expect that to work.
Yeah.
Did not expect that to work,
No.
but it's worked really well.
Strange.
I think it's part of the development of like Jake Christensen as, I mean, to be fair, he is just a guy, but you know, it's nice that he, when I was starting to get into prospects, I was looking at Christensen and I said like, this dude could be like a 60 or whatever. Just some guy who's like your bottom six, and it's like, yep, he's sort of doing, you know, fulfilling his potential there, being like maybe a decent, you know, an NHL regular, which is nothing considering he went like undrafted.
Yeah, he's an undrafted player,
Oh, yeah.
so.
I mean, and I figured going into this season he would just kind of end up like in that sort of AHL limbo that he's been in the past few seasons.
Yeah.
But especially given where guys like Yurchek and Matejchuk are in their development, the fact that we might see them, Yurchek we're already seeing, and who knows if we see Matejchuk down the line.
That's for later, but that's a good.
That's for later.
Yeah,
We'll come back to
later.
that one. We'll come back to that one. But I figured Christensen would kind of end up being the odd man out there. But I think he's absolutely played himself into even when some of these other guys like start filtering into the lineup. Like he deserves he deserves a spot right now.
Yeah,
he's playing well enough that I don't think you can split up that pair at the moment. They've been our best D pair in like 4 out of 5 games so far.
Yeah.
I'd
having
say so.
Severson allows us to, or not Severson, having Christensen allows us to like, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but it solves one of the problems that we had, which was we didn't have any depth defensemen.
Yeah.
Like
That's the reason we're having
Big change
so
from
many
past
right now.
years where we had like 4 number 7Ds rostered.
And they were all playing in the top
remember
4.
Scott Harrington
I
playing top
wish I
line minutes?
didn't. I wish I did.
You know what? I'll say it. I miss Scott Harrington. He was
don't.
always good to come in and play like 40 games of the season or something and be not garbage.
No, he was garbage.
I can't believe someone misses Scott Harrington. Those are words that have never been uttered.
I liked him. I liked him. He was physical. He'd hit. He didn't do much.
He was the defensive defenseman that couldn't defend and tried offense, and he sucked at it more.
No. That's
Scott, I
Gavin
can't
Bayreuther.
believe
Let's
you're
not
being
mix this
possessed
up.
by the spirit. I can't believe you're being possessed by the spirit of John Tortorella.
No, that's I just Harrington, Bayreuther, that like era of Jackets defensemen.
Kukin.
Dean Kukin.
The defensive misadventures of Dean Kukin.
I do miss Nudavara though.
Nudavara was solid.
I do miss Nudie. He built himself a good role in
He
Florida.
was never the same after Kucherov tried killing him.
No,
fuck that.
absolutely not.
He was not.
Is he still in Florida?
Nope, he
he's
retired.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he
Yeah,
retired.
the injuries just ruined him.
Nah.
He's retired. Bayreuther's in the National League now. I don't think.
So he's in Switzerland.
Ryan Murray's a free agent.
I think
That's what we need. Another
I
lefty.
don't think Nudie didn't get a cup then because he retired.
Yeah, we're putting
before-
the Ben back
before
together.
that.
Jack motherfucking
Damn,
Johnson,
sad.
Ryan Murray. Next up, David Savard.
Oh,
To
my
be
Lord.
fair, I would love to see David
Is Ian
Savard
Cole
back.
still available? Let's bring back the Lumberjackets.
Jesus.
Let's go.
Yes.
Anyway, so Severson goal, 6-3. Paterka put in I want to say it was after the.
It was a 6-on-5.
Yeah, it was a 6 on 5.
Yeah, empty
Really
net.
nice goal by Paterka. I like JJ Paterka though. I'm a big.
I like
Paterka
Paterka.
Oh yeah.
fan. So nice to see him score. Hey,
This is what's so frustrating about Buffalo. I like so many of their players. They have a lot of good players. They just don't put it together.
I like
don't
Kulik
know
a lot.
why.
I wanted to draft Kulik.
Coaching.
I love Kulik.
Oh, I just said coaching.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Lindy Ruff, man. He's
This isn't 2004.
In theory, Lindy Ruff should be a decent hire for them, just given look at Jersey, right? Like a lot of Jersey's young players did take big steps under Ruff.
Right.
Like you
All
have
right.
to give him credit for that in
All
terms
right,
of
here's a hot take.
young player
It
development.
had nothing to do with Ruff. It had everything to do with the Nashville head coach now, Andrew Brunette.
Oh, Brunette.
Brunette?
Oh, Brunette.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it had everything to do with
Brunette is
Brunette.
absolutely leading the Nashville Predators to glory right now.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah,
pretty good last
they're
year.
in their own mess, but But it's not a coincidence that he came in 22-23, or no. Yeah, 22-23. Or no, sorry, 21-22, they sucked. 22-23, Brunette came in, they were awesome. And then
they were also injured to
yes, they were
absolute hell
injured,
the year before,
but
to be fair.
How many goalies did they
but
have? They
then
had like 7 goalies.
23-24,
Way too many.
Brunette left, he went to Nashville, all of a sudden they can actually do things again, unlike under John Hines, and New Jersey fell off a cliff again.
They played 7 goalies that season,
That's nuts.
and no goalie played more than 25 games. And only one of those 7 goalies had a save percentage over 900, and that was Jonathan Bernier in 902.
And all of them were still better
That's
than
true.
Elvis. No. Sorry.
That's not a high
I don't know if you're
bar.
wrong. I don't know if you're wrong. That's the sad part.
No, he isn't.
Well, actually, not.
I think Elvis
think
would be
you
in the
can-
middle of that.
What's Elvis' save percentage right now?
It's like 8 something, I think.
830.
I think he's genuinely number 7 out of. Well, if you put him in this list, he would be 7 out of 8.
I thought we were talking about last year. He was still be
Oh,
below.
Yeah, I'm not sure about last year.
That's pleasant.
He was in the 800s last year.
He's an 850 this year. You know, we're improvements.
Wow.
Improvements.
Firmly number 7 on this list, behind the likes of Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar, Scott Wedgwood, John Gillies,
Oh.
Jackets legend John
Jackets
Gillies,
That's some 2015
Mackenzie Blackwood,
AHL
Nico
All-Star right
Dawes.
there.
Oh god, what an assortment of names.
Yes.
What an assortment of
The
names.
2015-16 vibes are coming.
So
you
now
got it.
we do need to discuss though Jack Johnson. I know Jack Johnson. I mean, we can discuss.
Let's talk about
we
Jack
can
Johnson.
talk about Jack Johnson.
Let's do it.
No, I was gonna say Kent Johnson, who it doesn't look great. It's not good.
No.
It's not short term.
No, I do not expect to see him at all in 2024 for the rest of it.
I mean, if that's what it takes, so be it. I don't think we, at the point we're at right now, I mean,
I just hope I
I
see
would
him
almost
again
rather-
this year.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would almost, if it's serious enough that it might require surgery, I'm almost of the mind that, like, let him rehab, don't rush it, and if that ends up being the whole season, that's fine.
What's the point? What's the point? We're gonna play him on a season that we're almost certainly gonna ready to lose. Fuck that shit, bro. Let's go for Higgins.
Higgins.
What do you mean?
I haven't done enough.
Rondell.
I haven't. I like Fundell, but maybe not
No.
another
Not
one.
one overall. No, I agree.
But then again, we're probably not going to win one anyway.
No.
We need to do the.
Set your expectations accordingly.
We're gonna do the prospects episode later. That's gonna be a fun one. When we invite
We're dragging Evan
Evan
in here for that.
into the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I will be very quiet that video if I'm in it. I'll just be like, I don't know what you're saying, but cool.
Scheming.
Yeah, maybe.
You should be the host of that one, really.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah, I could probably host that.
Smile
Well,
nod, smile nod.
time for the
Yeah.
All
Ken
right, you
Johnson and his injury. Which
I mean, it's just. I mean, we watched the first 4 or 5 games. We watched him absolutely light it
He's
up
legit.
on offense. He was. I mean, it's the best he's played as a Blue Jacket. We're finally starting to see that breakout. It's very tough to see him go down now of all times, but
I kind of compare it because we're talking about New Jersey. I kind of compare it to when Jack Hughes broke out and then immediately got injured and was basically done.
if he ends up on that trajectory, that career
I'm here
tractory,
for
I don't
it.
think anyone will
Yeah,
complain.
he comes back and he's a point per game
Absolutely here
player.
for it.
I'm happy.
Comes back
hold
and
on, let me
drops
hope
100.
some of that
Yeah.
copium.
Yeah, but I mean, it was very similar. Like, if you look at the games played, because I think Jack Hughes only played like 12 games one year when he broke out. I believe it was something like that. He didn't play much.
Yeah, I want to say it was. I don't remember.
It was 2021 or 21-22.
I want to say it was 2021 because it was his first 2 seasons that weren't really that great, and of course
Yeah.
there was injuries and all, and then year 3 he turned it on.
Yeah.
Like it was
His
over point per
first-
game. It
He's
didn't
only
look bad.
played like
His
half
first
the season.
year he played.
Yeah.
His first year he played 61 games and had 21 points. His second year he played all 56 games and had 31 points. His fourth year, It was a full season. He played 49 games and had 56 points.
And that was the year he missed a bunch of time,
That was
right?
maybe what I was thinking of.
Yeah, because-
Okay, he
But
played
he still
more
missed
than
a bunch
that.
of time that
Yeah,
season,
he
if
missed
I remember correctly.
I remember he missed like months.
Yeah, that was a...
He had
30
Yeah, as I
games.
said, he had 49 games out of 82.
Yeah, which is tough.
Not great. Yeah, because both those first two
no.
seasons.
The
were
year
short.
after, he had 78 games and 99 points.
99.
Yeah,
That's,
he turned it on.
the official breakout, I guess, if you want to
Yeah.
call it
Yeah,
that.
and
Full
then
season.
last year he had 62
played
games
insane.
and 74 points.
If we can get I don't expect 100 points. I'm not expecting 99 points or anything like that. But if Kent Johnson can come back and whether he comes back this year, or whether he's coming back next season, and he shows that he's a top line winger, point per game type of player, and I mean we're good. We're in a really good spot.
And
I mean, if he plays like he did in these first few games, of course, maybe not to expect that exact, top level performance over a full season. But even if, if we get that over large stretches of time, I think it's a reasonable floor to say 60, 70 points minimum. Like,
Yeah.
the way he was playing,
and to
it's
not
reasonable to expect that.
and not to forget his defensive game as well, because he wasn't just
much
all
improved.
offense. Yeah.
I think you could definitely see the impact of whatever amount of muscle he put on in the offseason, because he definitely feels a lot
He
less.
ate a lot of Big Macs.
Ate a lot of Big Macs.
You went from Nutella crepes to Big Macs.
Yes.
And speaking of seeing the effect of missing Ken Johnson, we had a terrible night versus Minnesota.
Yeah. I cannot
Just
comment
absolute
much.
Garbage.
It was bad.
I missed the first period and I stopped watching after
You didn't-
the last
you didn't miss
10
anything.
minutes.
You
It
didn't
did.
miss much.
I knew it was game over.
That first
Once
period
that
was
circle
the
went.
worst period I've seen them play all year. It was, granted, only 5 games, but it was bad.
It was bad.
Atrocious.
This is the first game where I can say the goaltending actually helped us. As in, that first period should have been 3 or 4 to nothing, if not for Tarasov. I thought Tarasov was good overall. Like, even, I mean, okay, maybe 1 or 2 of those third period goals probably ask for back, but overall, can't complain about him. I think he was the reason this wasn't 6-0 instead of
Absolutely.
3.
Oh, if this
I
was
thought he was
Elvis,
good.
this would be 7-1.
Oh yeah. Elvis would have been pulled in the first. Easy. But yeah, I don't know. I know I can't say much because I only watched half the game, but it just felt like the typical John Hines team experience. It was like watching mud.
It was not a fun game at all. It was definitely I was working while watching it, and I was more interested in work than I was in the game at times. It was definitely, definitely slow.
That's definitely his coaching style.
And I mean, all things considered, it was one of those things where they went through the first period down 1-0 on a Rossi goal, second period no scoring, but even at 1-0 at the end of 2, it just didn't feel like they had it.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
That second goal went in, and I knew it was over.
The game was over.
Yeah,
That
was
5-on-3 goal. As soon as we went down another, I'm like, okay, game's over. Because you're
they
not
scored.
stopping.
That Kaprizov goal was within 3 seconds of the 5-on-3, and then they got another one late. And of course, we got the window dressing with another Chinikov goal, which I won't complain, and a year checkpoint, which we'll get to.
Yes.
Small silver lining at the end of that, and I think that was another goalie pulled goal, which I think we're up to 3 of those already on the season, which probably ties our season total from last year.
Probably
Which is,
more
a
than
plus.
that. I think probably you add the last 2 years, and I still don't think we get to 3.
I don't think it was a goalie pulled goal, actually. If I remember correctly,
Oh, was it not?
pulled
Okay.
the goalie.
No,
they
it
did,
wasn't.
They did not seem like they were going to pull the goalie, and then Chinikov put in that goal, and you could kind of see the bench kind of re-energize, and you saw them, then they pulled the goalie after that. And they did actually. They had 2 good spurts. I feel like in this game, they had the goalie pull right after the Chinikov goal, and then they had the 4-minute power play, which was
It looked all right.
I thought it looked good. They had a couple really solid chances. Gustafsson was just good when he needed to be. Even if they were putting up chances, Gustafsson was more than equal to the task. But yeah, other than that, the rest of the game was very, like, especially 5-on-5. They just didn't have it. And they didn't look anything like what Evason's been trying to coach them.
No, it looked like the Brad Lasagna Pascal Vincent special.
Yeah, I mean, and it was kind of funny to me because Emerson postgame, if I remember correctly, he said something to the effect of, "I don't even know how that happened," which always a great thing to hear from the coach. No, but I mean, I'm not ragging on Emerson for this because, like, yeah, I mean, I think it just felt like they were tired the whole game. I don't know how else to put it, but it just looked very, very low energy.
Yeah.
Which, you know, those games happen. I think I mentioned earlier, like, I'm surprised it took until Game 5 for it to happen. I won't complain about that. But I think definitely we need to hopefully see a little bit more energy out of them going forward.
I'll shut up after this, but if you look at the scorecard, Provorov and Marinsky were a black hole that Minnesota game.
They were bad. They were
bad.
It was not good. I think.
No.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think they were on the ice for at least 2, if not all 3 of the goals. I could be wrong though. I know they were on the ice for one of them, and it was just a terrible defensive play on their part. Like both of them were just completely lost and out of position.
I think it was the Zuccarello goal.
Yeah.
The third one. Because it was. Because remember, I honestly was like super zoned out in the third period, but if I remember correctly, it was just like, I think he was just on the wing and pretty much had a completely wide open shot, straight top corner.
I think part of it is the side effect of the loss of KJ.
You could tell.
Yeah.
Definitely.
To an extent, it is just like a matter of depth, because we did have 2.5 sort of lines going, and then a fourth line. Because you had the top line with Monahan and the Russians, which could provide some weight.
They were still okay, I thought.
You mean Monahan?
They were
Monahanov?
Monahanov.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently Marchenko has started calling him.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought they were still okay that game as well, which, I mean, at least it speaks to them being an effective line, even when it's just, even on an off night, they were still at least reasonable. But the rest of the lineup is just...
Yeah. And then you had Sillinger and Boothia, and normally you'd have KJ, and KJ can drive that line, which is sort of like his breakout thing. But he didn't have that on this one. And then you have Fantilli, who can generate chances for himself, but not necessarily for his line.
Yeah, Fantilli was spare parts.
He needs that development. Yes. And then you have the fourth line. And it's like you don't have the capability of throwing out like sheer numbers, sheer depth in terms of reserves. And if you're relying on, Monahan and the Russians to be the guys who are going to drive the line, drive the entire thing of the game for you, you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah. I think they, I think the line that really was Wyatt, as far as those players that actually can do something, I felt like Sillinger and Putia really did not. They just kind of weren't there. Fantilli, at least, I thought Fantilli was a bright spot. Especially early in the game when the Jackets didn't seem to have anything at all. Fantilli seemed to be the only player that was actually pushing and trying to do anything at the very least. He was getting some shot attempts on goal. He just didn't have any help.
Who was he playing with that game? Was he with Putia and...
He wasn't with LeBlanc, because this was the game where they were running 7...
I think it was...
This was the 11-4 game.
I think it was Olivier, and at least to start it was
Olivier or Danforth?
It was Danforth. It was Olivier and Danforth, Which
is putting Fantilli on that line is, I mean, it's polar opposites, right?
Congratulations, you're a supercharged Sean Pirelli.
Basically, yeah.
Not what we want. Yeah, I mean, all things considered, with that in mind, at the very least, given the situation, I thought he was all right, which is, I mean, as good as you could ask for, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully, I think I think we're going to talk about it later, but I think we have shuffled the lines a bit for the next game. So
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
But we also did have sort of a resolution to the Yurchek saga. because he did
Kinda,
get
yeah,
on
from
the
last
ice tonight. He
back.
did not get on the ice in the other 2 games, but he finally got on the ice on this one.
Due to injuries.
Finally.
I thought he was. I thought he was all right. Honestly, like he was unspectacular, and all things considered, I'm happy with that. I don't think he was particularly. I mean, I don't think he was particularly noticeable, but he did get that late point. He did play more minutes than Christensen and Harris. So they're giving him responsibility at the very least. So I can't argue with that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
He had his moments. I think there were definitely some Eurocheck moments in there. I think there were a couple.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of times he either stepped up or tried to force a puck and didn't quite go. But yeah, I mean, when you have the rest of the team playing like this, and the point is like, well, you got an assist and you were pretty quiet most of the night. Like, we didn't notice you in a negative fashion. Like, there's worse things to be on a night like this.
Definitely.
yeah. And I think we'll definitely get a good idea of like where he's at over the next few games, especially with like we're playing the Leafs, this next game. I think that'll be a good test for him, like right off the bat. But I mean, at the very least, I'm glad to see just the mindset. I think I saw the quote from him where he was from the locker room, where he was mentioning the sign that we put up in the locker room, which was like, it's earned. And I think he basically saying like, I'm confident that I've earned this, which it's I at the very least, given obviously it's a new regime and all, I'm hoping that we've mended that bridge a little bit, and he's kind of understood that he's put in the effort, and Evason has rewarded him with the time on ice because he's been putting in that effort, which is a good thing. So yeah, hopefully going forward, especially now with Goodbranson out, I think that'll hopefully manifest in more consistent deployment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely is it seems at least right now he's buying it. I mean, we'll see.
Yep.
It's always one of those situations where you got to kind of manage your expectations, and if he sits for a few more games, that relationship could go right back to super contentious. But hopefully, my hope is he's in the lineup now, at least until Goodbranson's back, and then hopefully he just plays well enough here that even when Goodbranson's back, Evason can't take him out.
Yeah.
He had more time on ice than Christensen and Harris. He had fewer shifts than Christensen, but more than Harris. He was not on the ice for any of the goals.
And that was all 5v5 time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I saw him on the penalty kill.
No, he wasn't.
So
He was not special teams yet.
But and more to the point that this is our not given, he is on the lines for the practice, and I do have the lines for the practice right here. So
He's
Dean Evans said that Chinakhov, Monahan, Marchenko has been real good, but they're just trying to get some balance, which goes back to what I talked about with the loss of KJ. You don't necessarily have reserves. You don't have people that you can push forward. Well, our first line now is Sillinger, Monahan, and Marchenko. How do you guys think this line is going to work?
So, I like it. I'm a little bit hesitant on splitting up Monahan and Chinakhov, because I feel like if you would move someone off of that line, I would maybe rather do Marchenko, just given I felt like Monahan and Chinakhov were working better with each other. At the same time, I'm not opposed to putting Chinakhov on that Fantilli line with Putia. I feel like that, it goes without saying, Fantilli not being with Danforth and Olivier is an immediate step up.
Yes.
I think this at least should hopefully balance out the top two lines a little bit more in terms of, giving Fantilli, someone like Chinakhov on the wing who can actually shoot the puck.
The other line is Chinakhov, Fantilli, and Boothia.
Yeah.
I like that top six. I think we'll see how. Of course, it sucks to break up Monahan and the Russians because that was doing so well. But I think it's, I would rather do that.
It's kind of necessary.
Yeah, I would rather do that and balance out the top six a bit more than have to deal with a first line and 3 fourth lines.
Yeah, and if they're getting nothing out of anything, then they can always just resort back to that line, as long as they're all healthy. Which CBJ. So
yeah,
give it a week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next time we record, it'll be we'll be talking about another one.
Yeah, we'll be
Take
talking about.
a shot.
Yeah. We'll be talking about Luka Belbaluz and Trafix Wolanski.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
TFW.
Great.
Yeah.
Greatest quadruple A player of all
The
time.
cube.
Yeah.
The motherfucker.
Cube. Minecraft Steve.
He is.
Oh.
He is shaped like a Roblox player.
He like a mini fridge.
Yeah, I easily like a little bitty, like
Yeah.
like a Lego dude.
He's a Maytag. Maytag.
Gotta get that new nickname, Maytag. We're gonna make that one stick, right?
This is our
Oh, yeah.
first real
Just,
banter.
just stick his face on a Maytag. All right.
First real banter. It's about Trafix Wolanski looking like a fridge. Good job. Oh man. No.
We're going for the hits here. We're going for the hits.
Yeah, we're really, really not obscure at all.
We gotta flash up a picture of his face during this conversation on the video, like just for reference, so you can see what we're saying, because I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like it. No, I agree with the top 6 thing. I've been a vocal supporter of putting Fantilli with some less play drivey players, but you can't keep him there forever. Like you can't keep handing him night in and night out when he's putting up, like, you know, when he's going out there like he did in Minnesota and like being the guy who wants to drive success. Like you can't go, okay, I see that you're playing well. Here's Kevin LeBlanc again and Justin Danforth. Good luck. Like,
Hey man, Kevin LeBlanc scored 6 whole goals in the preseason. I'm sure that's indicative of future success,
Hey,
right?
2 assists.
I can't believe we found a new Bemstrom.
I will give him credit. During that
He's
4-minute
better than Benstrom, honestly.
during that 4-minute goalie pulled scenario in Florida, he was really good.
He was.
He was really good. I didn't notice him at all in the first like 54 minutes,
No.
but in those last 6 minutes, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta call. I mean, it's credit where it's due. It was worth a shout.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the reason
The
for
other
that
two
JVR
legs.
goal. Like it was pretty
Yeah.
much his play that led to that goal. So, I mean, hey,
Pretty much, yeah.
one play, whole season, you earned your contract, but there we go.
Hey man, it's like the Sean Crowley situation where he like randomly appears for 2 highlight reel goals per year and then just doesn't do anything else.
Hey, but that 2019 playoffs versus Vegas, I mean, that 5-minute power play, I mean, come on. Got like 3 or 4 points just from that.
No, you said
God, yeah, I
2019
forgot he was on the Sharks during that.
Yeah.
Damn.
You said 2019 playoffs. I thought you were going to talk about the Corrali 2019 playoffs where he had like 10 goals.
Yeah, the crazy goal he scored against Toronto.
He had
Where he just
several,
shot from the blue line.
He had several like high stakes goals that playoff.
Yeah.
Those playoffs.
I mean, like,
And then disappeared.
He's a double-digit goal scorer with us for the most part. 14 his first year, 11 his second year, and then 9 last year in only 62 games. So he's a double-digit goal scorer with the Blue Jackets for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if he's a 4th liner and he's a guy who's putting up 10 goals, that's fine.
Yeah.
I won't argue. That's.
It's
I
just
mean,
when he was getting second line minutes, that was the issue.
Oh,
I'm happy with him on the 4th line. Anything higher than that,
But speaking
necessity is one thing, but
speaking of the other 2 lines, we have Zach Ashton Rees, Justin Danforth, and Matthew Olivier on the 3rd line. Justin Danforth centering the 3rd line.
I mean, he's played center before, and he's looked good.
Yeah, you call that a 4th line, and I'm happy. You call that a 3rd line, I'm not as happy.
less.
Yeah, and
But
then
we don't
JVR
have
Corrali, JVR Corrali and LeBlanc on their 4th line. So we have 2 4th lines.
I mean, let's
Yeah.
be realistic. If we look at these 4 lines, we've got 2 second lines probably and 2 4th lines. Like, it's not a great situation.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
But the alternative is 1 first line and 3.
and 3 4th lines. Yeah.
Yes,
If we're being
let me do
generous,
that.
it's more like 1 first line, 2 4th lines, and like a
Third,
random
and then a
monsters.
3rd and a half line.
Monsters cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, I think it's at least a little more balanced. And I don't actually, I mean, as far as the bottom 6 goes, it's bad, but it could be worse. At least these
They
are guys
still
who
have
can say
NHL
kind of
level
do
players.
something. Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow.
They're fourth line NHL players, but they'll at least, from what we've seen from them, like, we can at least expect.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish we
expect
weren't playing those
energy
guys,
and
but unfortunately we have to
physicality.
because we have
yeah.
we have essentially a full line in IR. 5 games
more than
into
that.
the
More
More
than
than that.
No. I mean, just in terms of
just
higher
from the
end,
Okay.
top 9 NHL players. Voronkhov's out, Jenner's out, and now
Yep.
KJ's out. Lovely. We've lost a full line out of our top 9.
Yeah, you wouldn't surprise me if you had said that was a line at some point last season. That's
Yeah. Yep.
That would be a decent line, though, wouldn't it?
it'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
This season,
I mean-
at least.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
Jenner at center, so I
No.
No.
I don't know if I want to put Voronkov at
Yeah,
center
no,
on
he
that line
he knows one move, and it's drive to the net. He goes in a
Yes.
straight line.
either. Yeah.
Beeline directly at the goalie. Do not pass go. Do not click. Actually, blow straight through go. More like.
I'm just thinking of the Voronkov commercial now.
Oh,
Which one?
the
The-
Russian one where
Yeah.
he's in the
Red
gas
one?
station
Oh, yeah.
and he's got all
I
the
love
papers
that
behind
one.
him.
I need to like get that GIF back because that GIF died because I had like an auto react on the server for that
Yeah,
GIF.
why?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was wondering where it was. When
It
anytime we
died
said
because
Voronkov.
Giphy Cat as a website shut down, so I need to like redo that GIF on like a
Okay,
different
okay.
website. I still have it saved somewhere.
Fair.
It's a great GIF.
All right.
Lazy
It's a very good GIF.
Fair.
Yep. So Evanston also said that after practice that Elvis seems all right now after being out with a broken heart the last 2 games.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yay.
We're hard on him on the ice, but if it's I feel like it's hard to blame him in this situation, right? Like
No.
that was an emotional game, and we know what he's been through, both from Kivy and now this. So
Yes.
I don't think anyone's blaming him, for needing a few games to recompose.
No.
I think I can say on that side is hopefully he's managed to get past that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, off the ice, of course, always supporting, but yeah,
On the ice.
is maybe a bit of a different story, but
Yeah.
that's the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, did they ever, I don't know if they even ever specified if it was
They just
a
said
metal-
upper
just said
body.
upper body injury, which is
They changed it
interesting.
randomly to upper
Yeah.
body, which
Versus
I don't
rest
know
day.
if that's
I don't-
even allowed, but anyway.
Yeah, it's very, very odd
Rest 8 and
situation.
upper body injury.
The
That's why I
NHL
said,
loves creating
broken heart.
injuries. It's fine.
Nope.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries, we do have some good injuries, right? So,
Yes.
some good injuries.
Yeah, Brindley and Voronkov are both skating individually, but the original timeline state they're still multiple weeks away.
I'm surprised Voronkov is already starting to skate. I didn't think it'd be. I thought it'd be another couple weeks minimum. Of course, I don't think we need to rush him back, but definitely at least some source for optimism that he's already
Yeah.
back on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. He was in a sling for that little team trip. Both him and Ridley, their injuries were announced. I want to say that last preseason game, so the 3rd or 4th.
Something like that, yeah.
Brindley was a 4 to 6 week time. And then Voronkov was weird and nebulous, and then they were like, actually, it's going to be November, hopefully. So Brindley should hopefully be nice and fair, not firm exactly, but fairly consistent with that November timeline.
Yeah, and because it was it a broken hand or was it a broken finger?
It was just a finger.
Finger.
If it was just a finger, his him going from recovering to being able to play should ramp up quicker with him versus everyone else having a torn labrum and all that.
I'll self-report
Not
myself.
again!
I didn't even realize Brindley was injured until 3 days ago.
Oh my god.
I think I missed the preseason game where he got hurt, and then I somehow just blocked out the injury news until a few days ago when someone in the server mentioned, "Oh yeah, he's hurt," and I was like, "Wait, what? Did I miss something?" I thought we just sent him back somewhere, but nope.
No.
So, segueing off of that, do we think he plays?
With our current injuries, yes.
I wish he doesn't.
Should
I
he
wish
play?
he
I
does
guess
not.
it's, I
He
guess
doesn't
it's
get
two
on the
different
ice.
questions.
Should he play? I don't think so. I don't think it would be good for his development. Really, like force feed him top line minutes in the AHL, and say like, hey kid, you're gonna play on the PK, you're gonna play on the power play, you're gonna play on at like the top line at 5-on-5. Fucking go wild.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think we're all in agreement about that he probably should go back down. I don't know. Watching him in the preseason, he's not an NHL level forward yet. Like that, he
can be.
Yeah,
but he definitely can be.
I don't think so. I don't think.
In the future,
right now.
Right now, no way.
Right now,
no way.
Right now, he's not an NHL level forward. I mean, in the future.
My only thing I was gonna say was I think he stays up, but they have to pair him with Fantilli. If they're going to do it, pair him with Fantilli. But that's just me.
They might bring him up because of injuries, but I think they're going to try and insulate him the same way that they're doing Matejchuk.
They should, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hoping the new Don and Evason regime understands that, which so far they do seem to have a better grip on who needs to be up and who needs to be down compared to compared to Yarmo with the year checks of the world, going up and down 40 times a season. But yeah, I mean, I think again, it's a timeline thing, right? Like, he's not ready this year. We're not going to do much this year. I don't think there's a reason to rush him. No. We can let him get game time next year when he's more ready for it. Just let him play a full season. Give him all the opportunities that
it's going to be hilarious.
Need in the AHL.
It's going to be hilarious next year when half our forward core and D core is just Michigan alumni.
Michigan alumni.
Yep.
We're a goalie away from being able to roster a full starting lineup.
Yeah.
We just need to draft the Michigan. Michigan just needs to develop a goalie.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna go to the Stadium Series. We're gonna start with Jack Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Gavin Brindley, Zach Orensky probably, and Kent Johnson. I can feel this in my bones. We're gonna have these guys.
Kent Johnson, yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like
just go get Eric
going back
Portillo.
to the KJ point. yeah. Just trade Elvis for him. Surely that'll work, right?
Sure.
I mean, just going back to the KJ thing for a second. I feel like because Stadium Series is March 1st.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. With some luck, he should be back by then.
I feel like he should. That's
as long
that's
as
6
it's
months.
as long as it doesn't require surgery, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, even if it does, I think it's 4 to 6 months. Well, if it's a lab room, maybe more. But
yeah.
It's going to depend on what it is, and we don't have enough information to say when's he going to come back.
No, and we won't until probably maybe tomorrow. We might get a better idea.
Praise up. Hopefully, it is as unserious as possible.
Yeah.
But.
Speaking of things that are coming out tomorrow, we have a game tomorrow. We're going up against the Maple Leafs.
Yay.
Who are 3-2. So
they're playing right now as we speak, and last I checked,
Tampa.
They were up big. All right.
5-2 win against Lightning. Yeah.
5-2. Well, we're going to play the Leafs on a day that they are in fact tired.
Yep, off and back-to-back at home, and then I think they're coming to Nationwide, correct?
We are at home.
That is a home game. I will be at that game as well. I'll try to take better notes this time. It is not a date night, so I'll try to take some notes this time. So I'll have something to talk about.
Honey, I gotta write down some notes for my podcast.
I gotta. Okay, well, who took that shot? Please.
So just looking at today's game, Stolar started today, which means we should see
the Wall.
Hildeby, right? Because Wall's on IR.
It's either gonna be Hildeby or Wall. If Wall's
I think
back.
Wall. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back yet. I think he's out for another week or two, right? I'm not sure.
It
actually.
depends.
I can't.
We'll know tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the two. They got 3 points from Nylander today, 2 goals and an assist, 2 assists from Marner. Nye scored, Matthews scored, pretty much the who's who. I forgot they had Pacioretty.
I can't wait for Elvis to get lit up by Austin Matthews.
Yes!
They've got an interesting. They've got an interesting lineup. It's the first time I've actually taken a deep look at their line since we did our fantasy draft. But I mean, of course, it's changed since then.
Yeah.
Matthews, Nyes, Marner top line. Domi, McMahon, Nylander second line.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Tavares, Pacioretty, Robertson third line, and then Camp, Florence, and Holmberg fourth line.
It's still a
That's a good
Toronto
lineup.
team, right? It's still,
It's still a Toronto team, but
It's the high-end talent, right?
Yeah, it's the high-end
still there.
talent that has always killed us.
Yep.
Elvis will he'll either do really well randomly and like not let in any goals from Matthews or Marner, or he's just gonna get lit up.
Just shit on. Yeah.
Oh,
Their
he's gonna
fourth
get
line will
destroyed.
score 4 goals. Don't worry about it.
Damn. Yeah.
David Camp, Patrick, book it
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and then we
This
get
is-
another few days off after.
Yeah, we get I think
We get a few
3,
days
then
off.
a home game, and then 3 more days against the currently winless Predators.
Yes.
Wouldn't it
Surely
be-
we won't give them their
We're
first
gonna
win.
be going
Oh, that'd be
against the
such a Blue
currently
Jackets thing.
winless Predators on the back of a back-to-back for them.
That's true.
Because they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing Chicago.
Please,
make
Chicago,
it
give them their first win. So we don't have to be.
They are playing in Chicago, and then they're coming back to play in Nashville. These guys are going to be exhausted. We are losing the ever-living crap out of this game.
Oh yeah. We are losing, definitely. We are going to get Philip Forsberg to
man.
death.
As always, there's a meme somewhere in my messages
Philip
with
Forsberg
Evan from
loves
like
scoring
several
on us.
years ago, which is just Philip Forsberg. It's time for our every game we play him, he's gonna score another 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yep. I hate that guy. No. great player.
Turns-
Great player. Just hate playing against
Oh,
him. Man.
Yeah.
Philip
they're a good
Forsberg
team.
and
They
his
should be 0-5.
he's got him snidely whiplash mustache. He's tying to CBJ to the train tracks.
That's why I was hoping we could sign him when I thought he was going to hit free agency, but he didn't.
Oh, dude.
And it's just weird. Like they shouldn't be. I mean, they're going to normalize. They're not going to be they're not going to be the worst team in the league the whole season. But
No.
it's been weird watching them these first few games.
They can't score.
Yeah.
They just can't.
just look weird. They just look off.
Now, let's see what Stamkos has
Well-
1 goal in 5 games. Yossi has no goals so far. Their leading goal scorer is Forsberg, who only has 2 goals. Marchessault has 1 goal. Riley has 1 goal. So yeah, these guys aren't going to say. Oh, and then Thomas Novak has 2 goals. So these guys aren't staying goalless. Whether it's against Chicago or against us, I feel like those 2 games are definitely the games that if they're gonna break out of the slump, they're gonna break out of it against us. So
Yeah.
They're also shooting about 6% right now.
sustained.
Which is
Which
terrible.
is not.
That's fine.
That's not gonna hold. So it'll definitely be it'll be interesting. I think there's still plenty of team they'll pull out of that, but yeah, we'll see where we end up, especially coming off of a back-to-back in the game against us. I might actually go to that. It's like a 3-hour drive, but it's at Nashville, so
Yeah.
I usually like making the trip up if I can.
Rock some of your more esoteric jerseys. Do you have any weird Nordic jerseys that you can bring to the table?
So funny enough, when I was at the funny you should ask. When I was at the draft in Nashville in 2023, I wore my HV71 jersey, which if you look at their retros, they had like a retro. It's a Swedish team for context. It's a Swedish team that I root for, and they have a retro which pretty much looks exactly like the Predators Smashville. Was it the Stadium Series? I think they wore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks almost the same as that, and I wore that to the draft in Nashville, and I had several people ask me for directions because they thought I worked at the stadium when I was wearing that. So, I definitely fit in.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Definitely fits in.
Yeah.
Let me go grab it. It's in my closet.
Oh boy.
Should be
For the second time tonight, we're
week, though. Yeah, second time.
For the second time tonight, this has turned into show and tell.
Show and tell that people who are listening on audio will not be able to hear. So it looks like this.
Spotify
Which,
audio.
Wow,
that's-
that really does look like
It
it.
really is just Smashville, except you're dropping the middle band and just replacing.
You know,
the
it
logo,
honestly
but-
kind of looks like a North Stars jersey as well, in a way.
Oh, yeah.
like an off-brand.
Yeah, like
Michigan-
an off, like,
Michigan
brand
jersey.
bootleg version.
Off-brand Michigan.
Yeah.
All right, real talk though, I would love a Michigan jersey with like any one of our.
Oh, dude, a
Michigan
Kid
guys
Johnson,
on
a
it. But
Kid
apparently
Johnson
they're, like,
Michigan jersey would
notoriously
go so
annoying.
hard.
Yeah.
They're
Or
apparently
if it's
like
like
really
Michigan
annoying
jersey.
to get like custom jerseys off of. I know Evan was trying to at some point for. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, I just I'm getting one for Brinley, and I just got a Michigan jersey, and I'm gonna get it customized. I'm not gonna getting it through the website is a pain in the butt. Like it's
Yeah,
I
it's just not-
Getting a Wierenski one would be fire.
Yeah.
Because that's just so
I
reliable
mean,
there.
you got options, so
Yeah.
A lot of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Can we actually still ice a full starting lineup? Because we don't have Blankenberg. Or well.
we
Yeah.
have Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson and Brock
Yeah, Jack
Werenski.
Johnson.
Oh right,
Yep.
I
We
forgot
got-
Jack
we got
Johnson.
Double
You're
J.
right. You're right.
Double J himself.
JMFJ.
Take Michigan. JMFJ. He's not been good, but that's not a surprise.
He's been bad.
He's not here to be good.
He's not here to be good. He should. Yeah.
No,
we,
no.
we should on LeBlanc here, but
Yeah.
Jack Johnson has been.
But he's been bad, but he's going to be playing with Vierchek. The next
Which was a
lineup.
disaster in the preseason.
It was.
Would
Yeah,
you believe that
let's
Jack
go.
Johnson currently has a positive plus minus?
No way.
I could see
No
that
way.
because he has been low managed.
It's
He's at +1
a
somehow.
lot of the goals. I feel like a lot of the goals against him have been on the penalty kill. Yeah.
Yeah.
penalty kill.
Minuses, so there we go. Protecting the
don't.
stat line.
You're right. Protecting the stat line.
Yeah.
He's playing 15 a night, which
That's more than I would like.
Not-
for sure.
No, way more than I
Yeah.
would like. Especially being, I mean, he is the.
But you also have to consider
third pair.
PK. PK
Yeah.
brings your time up a lot.
Well, okay, but he's playing PK2 right now, isn't he? Because first,
Well, I've noticed with Dean Evanson's systems is you rotate
does
out.
shuffle.
Yeah, you
yeah, he does
rotate
shuffle
in
a
and
lot.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that second penalty kill unit is, especially now with Kent out, because KJ was playing penalty kill, which I thought
Yeah,
was,
him and
I mean, a great
Sillinger
piece
was
of,
really good.
just PK
it was really good.
gods.
I thought it was a great piece of development on his side, because like we weren't really giving him that PK time before, but
No.
you know, giving him that, and they were looking good on it as well. But now I think we're, according to Daily Faceoff says right now, I don't know how accurate this is at the moment, but Monahan, Putiev, Provorov, Severson first unit, and then Cole, Danforth, Johnson, and Wierenski at the second unit. Which
Sure.
first unit is tolerable. Second, yeah, I mean it's not.
To be
don't like
fair,
any
I
of
don't
it.
love Wierenski on the penalty kill either.
No, I don't either. Especially with Johnson.
I don't. I mean, let's see.
It's tough. But who else do you put there? I
We
guess
don't
is the
really
question,
have
right?
any
Your
good
check.
penalty kill guys right now. Like, I don't
That's
really like
why we need the
Provorov.
lumberjack.
Yeah,
We need the return of the lumberjack.
it's savvy.
I am honestly for giving Yurchek like
Yeah.
power play and penalty.
Give it-
He should get it. Like I think
Force
it's
hitting
a
the
valuable-
What the fuck? What's the worst case scenario that can happen? We get scored on. We're gonna get scored on anyway.
it's gonna happen anyway. Might as well do it.
Yeah, we have prime Elvis in net, so it's just gonna happen. It's just
Prime Elvis was that like 2 week span in I think 2019, 2020 where he
Yeah.
had like 5 shutouts in 8 games and then
Something
it's just
ridiculous.
never been the same since.
yeah. He was so heavily insulated though.
Oh yeah. I mean I think
That
we led the league
2020
in goals against that
I
year.
think that 2020 goal decor was probably the best of Blue Jackets history.
Yeah, till Jones.
It
went
was
down.
so deep. Yeah. Yeah, because you had Wierenski, Jones, Gavrikov, Savard, Murray, Nudavara.
Yep. And then
We allowed
was just
the
unreal.
second fewest goals against in the league, only behind Detroit, who somehow was 35 below everyone else. But
Yeah, but they can.
wait, sorry, no, I lied. I'm looking at goals for.
Yeah, we
we were
couldn't
second to
score.
the Bruins that year. But yeah, we
Yeah,
couldn't
okay.
score. We were second lowest goals against, but also second lowest goals for.
that was the
Which
year.
is
that was the
tragic.
year,
I
like,
see
the
the
beginning
Beavis
of
and
the year.
Butthead special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I was getting. I think this was on the Reddit. This was on the subreddit. I was getting crap for calling out our goaltending for letting us down early in the year. And then, shock surprise, Corvusalo and Elvis started actually playing relatively good hockey, and we started winning. So.
Wasn't that the season where Corpy made the All-Star game?
Yeah,
Do it again.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
he got injured.
He got hurt. Yep, he got named to the All-Star
Yeah,
game.
he
He
got
got hurt. Cousins to Jack.
I mean, they were both good that year.
They were.
Like Corpy
Yeah.
was, they both started pretty much 30 games each. Corpy was 910, Elvis was 923, and both their goals against were less than 2.5. Like,
Yeah.
they were good. Of course, there's a defensive side of that to it as well. Of course,
Yeah.
Torts makes goalies look good.
but towards
Like,
Also Bradshaw.
yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Passion Brad.
Yeah. I think we definitely need to wrap this up.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah,
This is
We're almost at 2 hours.
Almost at 2 hours.
long
Damn.
Episode
Yeah,
today.
we're almost at 2 hours.
I'm gonna blame.
The-
We might want to
the
say.
last thing that I-
Yeah, blame me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. The last thing that I kind of wanted to go over, just some very quick talking about the prospects, because we had to call up Jet Greaves, which meant that Zach Genuine, Bubble Kajan had to play a Friday, Saturday back-to-back against the Charlotte Checkers. The 5-2 win for the Checkers first game, 4-2 win for the Monsters the second game. Matejchuk had an assist the second game, and it was +1 both games. But in better injury news, Lindstrom was seen skating individually each day this week per Portsline.
Yeah. Take as
that's
much
neat.
time as you need.
Yep.
Hopefully he gets completely healthy and goes down to Medicine Hat and goes up to Medicine Hat and
Yeah, and just wreck shit.
Just destroys that league. Like I wanna see him just.
I mean, he was destroying the league before he got hurt.
In,
So, yeah.
in terms
he was
of
a little
destroying the
inconsistent,
league,
but
though.
he was definitely
Yeah.
good. He was
Yeah.
definitely good,
Yeah.
so.
I think it was right before he got hurt, he was just dominating. And
Yep.
then the back injury happened.
Yep.
Yep. Another guy who is currently dominating the league is Luca Morelli, our 2024 third round draft pick, a right-hand defenseman who's currently leading the OHL in defenseman goals. He's 6-5 and 11 with the Oshawa Generals. Fellow notable generals Beckett Sinekin, and also
That's my
Munster
guy.
defenseman
The guy.
Stanislav Svozo, David Svozo.
I think he
I
went
could
undrafted.
talk at length. He did.
Go ahead.
I could talk at length at how much I love the Ducks last draft, but I think that's a different conversation.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is a different episode for another time because I think we could.
That's the prospects episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The other guy who's performing really well is Evan Gardner, who's 4-2-1 with the Saskatoon Blazing to WHL with an 0.953 save percentage and only 5 goals against in the last 4 starts.
He was just the
he-
WHL goalie of the week, actually. So.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
And
Where's
Charlie
Melvin Strahl?
Alec
We need a Melvin
are
Strahl update.
yep. Charlie Alec is our 2024 second rounder. Had a fairly slow start on the score sheet. He's never been a high scorer, but he's now 0-1-1 in 9 career games, which is a career low for points per game for him with the Brandon Wheat Kings.
He's struggled a little bit. I've watched a couple of games scouting server favorite Roger McQueen, checking him out a little bit, but yeah, it hasn't been great for Charlie. Like it's been his decision making's looked a little questionable at times.
It's been.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's your Melvin Strahl update. I forgot he was in Youngstown. He started 5 games. He's 3-2 with a 910 save percentage and a 2.5 goals against average, which is not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Of course, it's 5 games, but I think the big thing is, I mean, he's playing in the U.S. now, which, ice size, pace of play, it's definitely a level down from, I think he was playing in the SHL U20 before, and he was serviceable, right around 900, but of course it's a very different,
Yeah,
a
it's
very
definitely-
different game, especially in Sweden compared to some of the other,
It's
Nordic
very
countries
low
where-
shot
Yeah.
puck possession.
So definitely, I mean, it's 5 games sample size. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the season. But at the very least, it's good that he's getting play time in a USHL team.
All right, you guys want to play in the socials?
Well, I was gonna say I could just put our Discord names in the bottom of the video description on YouTube. We are all from the CBJ Discord. That's obviously a Discord channel. If you want to join us and talk to us, feel free. I'll put the
we
link down
we
below
had some
as well.
very interesting experiences today, including me shoving my entire hand up my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want some of that,
Yeah.
come on by.
Some of that quality
Yeah.
action.
And then we occasionally actually talk about the Blue Jackets. Occasionally, though.
Rare occasion. We're
We
usually
tend to talk more about
arguing
prospects
about other
nowadays.
things,
Yeah.
but come join us in Prospect Type, the
is very
only actual
much
serious channel.
Yeah. I will say, even if you're a fan of another team, we're still welcome. Just as long as you respect us, we respect you. We have people that are fans of other teams that are in the Discord, so don't feel afraid to join if you're a fan of another team. Unless you're Pittsburgh, then you can go to hell.
We have Pittsburgh fans in the
I know
Discord.
we do.
Pittsburgh fans, it's fine.
Sadly not.
We
I
have
just wanted to
Pittsburgh
say
with
that.
Sadly,
we have Pittsburgh fans with us right now. Right now in this very call.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Who?
Who's the closet? Who's the closeted Pittsburgh fan?
What do you mean closet? It's clearly Sisk. Scott.
Good stuff. I was
exposed.
actually. That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
I was back in the day. Little young
Uh-huh.
Sisk before the Blue Jackets existed. That's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
See, but you made the right choice of moving over when they came in instead of rooting for the Jackets
Well,
like
no, he avoided
361
some
days a
awful
year.
pen years, though.
But then I also did miss their good years too. I missed the Crosby, Malkin, top end years.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
but you're here. I
you-
mean, wouldn't you rather watch like Sonny Milano and like Stefan Matteau and whatnot instead? Like,
How about
think of what
Marcus
you could
Hannah-Kinen?
do.
That dying for Rusty Klasla.
I liked Marcus Hannah.
Calvin
I
Turco.
thought he was a great player.
he had no skill.
him and Lucas Sedlak, man. Give me those days.
I do miss Sedlak. He was fun.
Sets a cat.
That 2016 was that 2016
16,
Monsters?
17.
That Monsters team had some
The
fun players
15,
on it.
16,
A lot of them didn't end up much, but I mean that was a fun team to watch.
Yeah. The 16, 17
you know-
Blue Jackets were just random.
You know who was on the other side of that of the Stanley Cup there? No, sorry, was that Stanley Cup? I know that Gavin Bayreuther played one of the Stanley Cup finals, but now I can't remember.
Dallas.
The Calder Cup and the Stanley Cup.
Stanley
The
Cup.
Calder Cup, not
Oh,
Stanley
the
Cup.
Calder Cup?
with the A.
Okay,
With the
it was
AHL.
with Texas.
Yeah.
It had
Yeah,
to do
sorry.
with Texas.
Yep.
It was
Yes.
he played several years with Texas, and then he went back to the Stars after we
Yeah.
got rid of him.
Yeah.
Likes Texas.
But I think now he's in Switzerland.
He's in the Swiss league, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Gavin Bayreuther has to be
Kraken
like my
legend.
favorite.
May we never see him ever again.
I think he's my favorite bad defenseman. He was. I mean, I always like he was. I mean, let's be real. He was not good. But
cut.
there was something funny about watching him like think he was Alex. What was I saying? Think he was Zach Werenski and like try to step him on a play as a forward and then just be like a mile away somewhere on the ice while the play's going the other way. I'm like, all right, you're not Z. Like,
Yeah.
stay back,
Play your
please.
game. Stick to your role.
Hey,
Player game.
the one that I always enjoyed, I didn't get to see him very much, but Cody Goluboff.
Oh, Gold Beef. Gold Beef, man. Yeah.
He sucked, but he was
Oh, he
fun.
was garbage. He was garbage. I always liked.
He's also in the Swiss league, or well, he was
He
most
is,
recently.
Yeah. I liked Grant Plitzen. Y'all remember Grant Plitzen? That's another one
I
of
do
those.
not.
Like,
That's a
Good
deep
name.
cut.
yeah.
Deep cut.
Thought he was an offensive defenseman. He thought. He tried. He didn't do anything else, but he tried.
The only reason I know that name is because I got into hockey by playing like NHL 2K12, and he was on the
Okay.
Jackets in that game. And I just have this distinct memory of like a random season I did where he led the team, or he led all defensemen on the team in points, which made no sense. but
But
I
then
wasn't
you
gonna
look at the
complain.
team and you look at the defense and you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go down memory lane. Let's look at the defensemen on that team.
Oh God.
Oh,
Was
actually,
Jack Johnson there yet?
Is that?
Good question. I'm not
Yeah,
sure actually.
2011,
I know he
That was
came in
slow.
the. I think he came in the
11, 12?
He came in the
Yeah.
Carter trade.
Because that was. Hold on. Let's see here. Defenseman.
Columbus Blue Jackets 2012.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I
James
think him
Wisniewski,
and
Fedor
Savard.
Tutin, Aaron Johnson. Shout out Aaron Johnson. He's cool.
Yeah.
I worked with him. Jack Johnson was there. He was 21. No, not 21. He was 25, but he played 21 games.
Okay.
Yeah, Grant Clitsome, David Savard. Savard was. Oh yeah, Savard was.
That was his
I
rookie
think
year.
just drafted, right? Yeah.
Baby Savard.
Mark Mathot.
Back when
I don't even know if it's
Savard was an
Savard.
offensive
Dalton
defenseman.
Prout. Shout out Dalton Prout.
Oh, Dalton Prout. Yeah.
One punch.
He was
He
also
was-
That was, a
rookie,
few,
I think.
Man
that
himself.
was a few years after he was drafted, because he was drafted 2008.
Yeah, but I mean, he'd be what, 21,
Yep.
22 by
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
21.
21.
Chris
Who
Russell.
led the team in points that year? God, that team is so sad. Rick Nash 60 points, Vinny Prospel 55, and no one else cracked 40.
Dude, Rick
Oh,
Nash
well.
didn't reach 60
You mean
points.
Exactly.
you mean
Brasard Numberger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nikita
Brassard.
Nikitin.
And
Oh my God.
Brassard and Nuremberger both reached 40 points. Nikita Nikitin reached 32.
Oh,
and
yeah,
was
Nikitin.
fifth. He was the only the fifth player to break 30 points that year. That year was as bad as as last year.
Steve Mason had more points than 11 skaters.
Crazy.
And then
Wait, sorry, not 11.
and then we
let me
traded
count.
him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 skaters, but still, he had more points than 9 skaters who played that season. That's honestly impressive.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh,
we, should,
man.
we should wrap up this
Who was
episode,
the? Yeah.
Shit, it's been
Who
two,
was the
we're
coach?
just past 2 hours.
Did Todd?
That was Scott Arniel, wasn't it? Or no, it was Scott Arniel for like half the season, and then they fired him, and then hired Todd Richards.
Okay, yeah, because I remember Todd Richards was just like all offense, no defense at all.
To be fair, that's well.
I mean,
Oh,
hey, he got
man.
70-point Nick Foligno.
Never happening again.
No, that didn't.
Never.
Bless his-
That didn't
bless
even
his
get
soul.
close. He never got close after that. But yeah, we definitely need to wrap this up.
We've gotten sidetracked
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Let's wrap
That's
it
good.
up.
That's good. We finally got our first few instances of banter in the show.
Yeah. All it took was insulting Trey Pix-Wolansky and Elvis Merzlikins.
Gavin Bayreuther and Elvis Merzlikins and list off half the roster.
Yeah.
All right, we can clearly. I think we found our lane. We're going to be consistently insulting past and the current Jackets.
I mean, what else are we gonna
pass,
do?
but- Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want to take us
That's
out, Gabe?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for listening and or watching this podcast. I've been Gabe. I've been joined by Wyatt, by Fish. Can you guys please say something so the people who are listening to us can
Right.
actually?
No.
Multimedia.
Alright,
No,
sorry,
they'll just
Spotify.
listen to awkward. They'll
Alright.
just listen to awkward silence as we just stare at the camera and wave.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
It's definitely appreciate it. Good to
Yeah.
good to
And
chat.
finally,
Yeah.
Scott.
Good to have you on.
Yeah.
Hi, I'll say
That's
something.
not
There you
Russian.
go. Something.
All right, that's it.
All right.
Podcast over.
Yay.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you
That was
next
good.
week.